Hello viewers, this is Joymahidul here. At first, if you like the video, please share it with your friends and your respected comments below here. For video clips, all credits go to the movie owners. We make which are truly hidden gems to entertain people. This video is all about explaining the movie from our own point of view. For explanation, we have used most of the video clips from the movie for the better understanding. Stay with us till the end, enjoy the video.
Today, I will recap a Korean sentiment film delivered in 2019, called Tune In for Love. This acting film recounts the romantic tale of two spirits that met at a pastry shop during the 1990s. Their adoration advances through various periods of their life, however destiny continues to pull them away from one another. Is it true that they are intended to be together? The story begins a delightful morning in 1994, with a secondary school understudy, Mi-soo, opening up her family pastry shop. Her folks have previously died. Mi-soo runs the store with Eun-ya, a long-lasting representative that she as of now considers as her more established sister. Yeon-woo comes into the bread shop to search for any soy-based item. However, the pastry kitchen doesn't have any, so Mi-soo advises him to go to a close-by grocery store. As he leaves to the general store, Mi-soo informs Eun-ya concerning the abnormal attractive kid who came to the store. The two of them see him from a remote place. Eun-ya imagines that he just emerged from jail. In any case, Mi-soo can't accept. This is on the grounds that he is as yet youthful and wearing a secondary school uniform. A couple of days have passed, and Yeon-woo consistently hangs out in the pastry kitchen after his school. Mi-soo is so occupied with the bread shop, which makes her can't zero in on the college entrance test. It makes Eun-ya distraught at her. Seeing the two of them overpowered, Yeon-woo lets them know that he exited his school also, will begin assisting them with the pastry kitchen. Mi-soo inquires as to whether he simply emerges from jail, yet he would rather not talk about it. Seeing that he doesn't resemble a troublemaker, Eun-ya acknowledges his proposition and invites him to the pastry shop. Their everyday existence at the bread shop begins. From the start, they aren't willing to open dependent upon one another. Whenever Mi-soo figures out that Yeon-woo was brought into the world around the same time as her, they begin to talk all the more nonchalantly. They start to discuss the pastry kitchen's set of experiences, Yeon-woo's involvement with the adolescent detainment focus, and other individual stuff. Mi-soo and Eun-ya even clean up Yeon-woo's hair, making him famous among the neighborhood understudy young ladies. They keep on making incredible recollections at the pastry kitchen and get to know one another. Out of nowhere, Yeon-woo's ex-classmates come to search for him at the pastry kitchen one day, which obviously makes him feel off-kilter. As they are causing a situation at the bread shop, Eun-ya requests that they leave the pastry kitchen. Yeon-woo left the bread shop with them subsequent to requesting that Eun-ya pay his compensation ahead of time. As they ride away on a bike, Mi-soo and Eun-ya see them quietly, contemplating whether he will return. Yeon-woo and his companion are remembering the passing of their dearest companion. Back in his school days, perhaps his dearest companion kicked the bucket in a mishap while playing. The specialists fault Yeon-woo and his companions for the mishap, making them end up in the adolescent confinement place. Mi-soo continues to sit tight for him to return, however she at no point sees him in the future after that day. The story then, at that point, leaps to 1997. Mi-soo just moved on from her college and landed her first position as a bulletin supervisor. The pastry kitchen has been shut down, and Eun-ya is presently running a little noodle shop. Yun-woo functions as a mover in the close-by region. At some point, he drops a few books in an old bookshop. The proprietor then, at that point, requests that he bring his old mother back home, since she can't see well at night. Mi-soo goes to her old pastry shop to see it once, and for all prior to beginning another section, over the course of her life. They startlingly met again before, the shut bread shop after Yun-woo left it and never returned in 1994. They are eager to see one another. Yun-woo rapidly takes the old woman back home and runs back to find Mi-soo. He gladly tells her that he completed his GED in the wake of exiting secondary school. She welcomes him to Eun-ja's shop tomorrow, yet Yun-woo will begin his tactical help. He then, at that point, strolls her back to her condo. The two of them need to talk more to one another, yet the abnormal circumstance forestalls them. Mi-soo is hesitant right away, however she at last works up the determination and welcomes Yun-woo into her loft for a few lager and food. He winds up remaining for the time being there. They talk about what occurred during the years, and Yun-woo let Mi-soo know that he got into a battle the night he left the pastry kitchen with his ex-classmates, and his probation period got renounced, so he was sent back to adolescent detainment. They partake in the time finding each other from their own bed until they nod off. In the first part of the day, Mi-soo boots up her pristine Windows 95 machine. She makes an email represent Yun-woo with the goal that they can stay in contact while Yun-charm is in the military. She composes the email subtleties on a piece of paper and gives it to Yun-woo. Yun-woo vows to see her after his tactical assistance is finished. Prior to heading out in a different direction, he embraces Mi-soo and clumsily kisses her. Later on her first day at work, Mi-soo acknowledges she neglected to give Yun-woo the secret word to access his email account. Yun-woo peruses the paper and furthermore ponders where the secret phrase to the email is. The days go on, and it's presently the year 2000. While Yun-woo is serving in the military, Mi-soo moves out of her loft. At the point when Yun-woo returns to the condo to see her, nobody is there any longer. Nonetheless, Mi-soo continues to send messages to the email account she made for Yun-woo, in spite of the fact that he doesn't have the secret key to get to the record. Realizing that Mi-soo's old condo is empty, Yun-woo rents it. All the while, he sorts out the email's secret key as equivalent to the lock code to the condo entryway. He becomes invigorated when he sees Mi-soo's messages and answers to her with his telephone number. Interestingly, Mi-soo is excited when she sees the email and can't quit mulling over everything. Mi-soo calls Yun-woo that evening with her office telephone, and they choose to talk again later after work to get together. Yun-woo is working at a wellness community now. In any case, the entrepreneur misled their client, so he was taken to the police headquarters with different specialists, making him miss Mi-soo's call. Yet again it's the work that his ex-classmates give him, which brings him away from Mi-soo. As he attempts to compose a statement of regret email to her, Mi-soo sends him an email that lets him know they ought to stay away. She is invigorated that he sorts out the email's secret word, yet doesn't feel it's the right time for them to get together, and trusts they will meet again soon when better things are going on to them. An additional 5 years have passed, and it's presently 2005. Mi-soo is as of now functioning as an essayist at a little distributing organization. Her supervisor is very unconventional, and appears to like her a piece. At some point, a gathering of undergrads is doing an undertaking in the workplace over hers. At the point when they hold a gathering to praise his recently distributed book. She understands that Yun, charm is among those understudies. It makes her fall into a crazy thrill ride of feeling. Destiny continues to pull them separated, then reunites them all of a sudden. Yun-woo requests that she follow him and shows her that he leases her old loft now. Mi-soo goes home for the days from work, and appreciates finding Yun-woo. This time, they are at last ready to determine the misconception they had during the lost years. One thing prompts another. Yun-woo summons up his mental fortitude and communicates his affection to Mi-soo. This time, it's not only an off-kilter kiss like the one preceding. Yun-woo kisses Mi-soo enthusiastically as she sets herself up for the drawn-out night they are going to appreciate. They choose to carry their relationship to the following stage and become a couple, living their lives cheerfully in that noteworthy loft and relishing their sweet sluggish coexistence, a prize for battling the destiny that continues to pull them separated. They go to meet Eun-ya, however Mi-soo isn't prepared to uncover their relationship to her. So Yun-woo goes to meet her alone, while Mi-soo stands by neighboring. Eun-ya is stunned when she sees him. After over a decade, she is at long last ready to meet him again, and recollects the upside days of yore at the pastry kitchen. Eun-ya is presently hitched and has a stepdaughter. In any case, her stepdaughter continues causing problems, making her life difficult. Abruptly, a teen young lady comes and advises them to follow her. Incidentally, Mi-soo gets Eun-ja's stepdaughter smoking and chastens her. From that point forward, they eat noodles at Eun-ja's shop and find one another. It's the period of the computerized camera now. They begin to deify their beautiful day, with spick and span, innovation at home and their office. At some point, her supervisor is beginning another business. He needs to open a bread kitchen class at a shop close to Mi-soo's old pastry shop, and he needs her to help him with the undertaking. But since of this, he shuts down the undertaking where Yun-woo is working. At some point, Yun-woo's previous existence returns and annoys him. It's the 10th year commemoration of his dearest companion's demise. His ex-classmates drive him to show up to that closest companion's home to leave an aggregate of cash in an envelope. The sister gets him while he is there, and she is still unpleasant with the way that her sibling can't carry on with the ordinary life Yun-woo is having now. Whenever he returns home, Yun-woo coincidentally leaves his telephone in his ex-classmate's vehicle. Mi-soo is hanging tight for him as he is absent for the entire day. She calls the telephone, and Yun-woo's ex-classmate answers the get back to then brings the telephone to her. Mi-soo faculties something is strange yet stays silent, and returns the telephone to their loft furtively. Yun-woo doesn't understand that his telephone is missing and tracks down it in the condo. Seeing it, Mi-soo asks him where he went that day, yet he lies about his whereabouts. Mi-soo is currently certain that Yun-woo is concealing something, so she goes to Yun-woo's ex-classmate to track down reality. She is then brought to the dead companion's family house, where she learns the unpleasant secret that Yun-woo attempts to stow away. Be that as it may, the family has previously created some distance from that point, and nobody knows where they are currently. At the supper that evening, Mi-soo attempts to raise the theme enigmatically. It shocks Yun-woo as he doesn't anticipate that she should be aware of it. The subject makes him somewhat awkward as he asks Mi-soo how she can find out about it. She comes clean with him, yet Yun-woo becomes maddened. He trusted that she would be the only one on the planet who didn't have the foggiest idea about that dim past of him. As Yun-woo surges out of the condo, Mi-soo attempts to hold him, yet he actually can't handle what is going on and surges out. That evening, Yun-woo got into a fistfight when he went up against his ex-classmate. He then, at that point, goes to Eun-ja's shop to chill his head off. Whenever Yun-woo returned to his condo, Mi-soo had proactively left. Since the time that evening, Yun-woo had been searching wherever for Mi-soo. Yun-woo goes to their old office and meets the chief. Whenever Yun-woo says he is searching for Mi-soo, the supervisor annoyingly says that Mi-soo needs a more bright man who can give joy. He then, at that point, drives away. Yun-woo pursues the vehicle and demands following him to see Mi-soo. The manager chuckled it out and hit the gas. Yun-woo continues running behind the vehicle, trusting that it will lead him to Mi-soo. Incidentally, Mi-soo is at the new bread shop that the supervisor as of late opened. As she gets in the supervisor's vehicle, she sees Yun-woo running from a far distance. Be that as it may, she overlooks him and drives away with her chief. Inside the vehicle, Mi-soo can't deal with her feelings. Seeing her express, the supervisor pulls over the vehicle so she can settle what is happening with Yun-woo unequivocally. Whenever he at last tracks down Mi-soo subsequent to pursuing her, he tells her that he adores her. Notwithstanding, Mi-soo drives him away and advises him to quit running towards her since he would get injured. That was the last time Mi-soo and Yun-woo met one another. Yet again destiny appears to have an alternate arrangement for them. Afterward, Mi-soo goes to Eun-ya to clear her brain. She eats donuts that Eun-ya made for her, helping them to remember bygone times at the bread shop. Eun-ya then lets her the night know when Yun-woo comes generally busted in the wake of battling with his ex-classmate. She doesn't have the foggiest idea how to deal with her sentiments any longer. Some time has elapsed, and Yun-woo is currently filling in as a cameraman at a radio broadcast. The radio personality inquires as to whether he has a message that he needs to communicate on the radio for somebody. Mi-soo understands that she is as yet infatuated with Yun-woo in the wake of hearing the radio DJ referencing her name, Kim Mi-soo, as one of the names someone has been missing. Mi-soo realizes straight away that it was Yun-woo, so she runs towards the radio broadcast to search for Yun-woo. The film closes with Mi-soo tracking down Yun-woo, while Yun-woo catches this unique second utilizing his camera. What is love yet acknowledgement of the other, anything he is? Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like and comment to help the channel out. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.